and welcome to Who Corner to Corner podcast. As always, my name is Jeff, and I am joined, as always, by Paul in his festive Who. Is it a t-shirt or jumper?
It is actually a t-shirt beneath my shirt.
Very nice.
Festive
and
Doctor Who.
Paul's daughter Freya, who's sporting a nice and safe attitude jumper there.
Nice and safe.
That was,
yeah, got it. Yeah.
Yeah. When I was at school, there was a rip-off
it?
brand of NASA, however you pronounce it.
NASA.
So we're here tonight to talk about
NASA.
Last night's episode of Doctor Who, the first, technically, of a new era.
Yes.
A new
wow.
era. But before we discuss the church on Ruby Road, I'd just like to say thank you for all the lovely feedback on our Christmas audio drama that went out yesterday, Christmas Day, depending on when you're listening. I whacked together a little script that I wanted to be sort of about the magic of Christmas and you know, all that sort of stuff, and I was a bit nervous about what people would think, and it didn't go well when the trailer went out and someone decided to tell us that he thought it was
the first piece of review that came in was, I'm not going to listen to this rubbish, blah blah blah, this is what I call Doctor Who, it's all blah blah blah. Yeah, that's never going to put you. But you know what, mate? From there, it can only go upwards. And
it did only go upwards, yeah. And I look forward to hearing that guy's creative outputs when he puts himself on the line.
Now, there's no need to be nasty about it, but no, it was good, Jeff. You wrote
We even played 3 minutes to the whole fam.
We did actually, yeah.
Did you?
Freya did play some of that to the.
Oh, with your bits, yeah.
No, I just played the first 4 minutes.
Which is mostly your narration, a bit of Lizzie, but Lizzie is right here.
And then I stopped it, and then he got mad because I just stopped it before he was in it.
Yeah, she stopped it before I did my damn bit, so I had to basically tell her to continue until my bit came in, and then we could safely finish the whole thing. So
yeah, that seems reasonable to me.
You did really well there, mate. I think a round of applause to Jeff and to everyone who was a part of that. It was
everyone who's a part of it. You two, Emily and Katie, and everyone who's listened. Yeah, the feedback was great. So we've had a couple of people say,
Doctor Who. It can be fun, as we said on a podcast before. It doesn't always have to be dark and meaningful and tragic and doom-laden and full of mavitas and stuff like that. So, it can be fun. Doctor Who can literally be anything. So, and of course, when you wrote this, because when did you first send the script to me? It was way back in November, start of November, end of October even, wasn't it?
It probably
we had no idea that Goblins were going to show up in the Christmas special. And we looked at that and we thought, oh no.
And then when
we better release that before.
Although of course it would be impossible to have watched the episode on TV and then produce an audio to go out an hour later. But when Kelly Rosen sent me her fantastic poster design, it was about 4 hours or something after the Elf, the first Goblin photo had been released, the first photo of one, and I said, the Elf looks a little bit like the Goblin, but I'd approached her some time before about doing it. So yeah, I mean, obviously, elves and goblins are a different species, so
absolutely, completely different.
It's not the same at all.
But
yeah, thanks everyone, and not the same. And a couple of people said it should be a tradition, so maybe take them up on that.
Yeah,
so it'll be good.
Yeah, I
do some
enjoyed
more.
recording the voices for it. It's a lot of fun, and of course the ones we've done before that. Which, if you haven't listened to them yet, go check them out. There's another two previous in it.
Two
One was a full cast audio, and another one was actually a single cast audio. Which made
a few
doing all the parts. So
what you might call
one-man show.
Pretty much,
a one-man show,
But it's a great story from
an audio
Matt.
book. Yes, it was. Yeah, and the other was by Lucy McCall. So
what it was.
yes, check those out. So as you just said, Paul, Doctor Who doesn't always have to be dark and moody and meaning, as the church on Ruby Road showed us last night.
Nice little segue there. Did you see that?
That was a very good segue.
Professional. As Freya grabs her phone and starts going on to TikTok and Instagram and stuff like that. We're only doing a podcast.
I'm texting.
I literally can't keep your attention for more than 60 seconds. Actually, that's quite good for a Gen Z. You did pretty well there.
Yeah.
It's not bad.
Yeah. What were you looking at on TikTok?
I was texting.
She was texting.
Nonsense.
Normally when I say to her, what are you texting? I'm not texting. I'm actually on TikTok. So now I did it the other way. And lo and behold, I'm texting. So, yeah, Dad always gets it wrong. Honestly. Right. Sorry, Jeff. Resume your talking.
I don't think we need to detail the plot of the episode, because I'm sure.
Time. You say this every time. What do we do?
Well,
we do
okay. So
although
to
to be fair,
recap,
there's not a huge amount of plot in this one. It's mostly set up.
All right,
let's
see how much I can do. Mysterious hooded woman.
Stop shaking.
Yeah, I did only watch it once. Mysterious hooded woman who was not the 13th Doctor, despite the short trousers. And did you see that theory? Because the woman had short ankle-length trousers and boots, people thought it might be 13th.
So she had to be.
Well, could have been the Rani, could have been River, could have been Susan.
Could have been somebody completely unknown.
New.
Just putting that one out there.
Who knew?
It's quite funny, isn't it? I've seen a lot of the online chat since the episode went out.
Theory.
Yeah, go on.
Was it that Anita Dobson is
going to get together?
That's not what I've seen.
What the current Doctor, Ncuti's Doctor, and they're going to just hit it off, get together, get married, have kids, and basically give birth to Ruby.
Fall in love.
Something like that. Okay.
Well, yeah. So the mysterious woman leaves Ruby at the church, and I did see theories that was Ruby delivering herself there, and then of course things
Which
changed.
Could happen. Could happen.
The Doctor delivered her, but the hooded woman was still there, walking away, which sort of was a bit strange. So anyway, there's a load of coincidences. Davina McCall, some exposition.
The Goblins.
Yeah, and then the Doctor has a bit of a dance and meets Ruby, gin and tonic division, and then they sort of get embroiled in Goblin stuff and singing.
That was
wonderful.
There you go.
That was brilliant there, mate. That was just the total summing up of the first 15 minutes of the episode. Okay, so let's just break this down for a moment. So yes, there's a bit of a prologue.
I'd say it was very very sort of classic, like Dickens type thing, fairy tale type.
Yeah,
stuff,
it's following the trope there, isn't it? Yeah, the abandoned. Well, what they said in the show, she was a foundling. She was found on the steps, and then of course there's kind of a bit later on. There's a resonance to the Doctor's own recently learned history, which was nice to see. In this, actually, the Doctor only found out recently that they were adopted, so that was a good thing. Nice,
just
resonance with the timeless
say
child
on that,
there.
I tweeted this earlier, but I always said, and I'm sure I said it on the podcast somewhere.
I think we
but
both
I
said
felt.
this, mate.
Did you say it as well? Well, I copyrighted it first, but the timeless child. I'm just going to mute your audio track there.
You can try them, you old signer.
The timeless child added, or would add, more dramatic options and enrichment of the character, and that's what happened last night. We did both think that, so it was nice to see it be. Well, I was surprised for a number of reasons, because I thought that Doctor 2.0, Ncuti, was a sort of clean refresh. I'm going to come to that in a bit. And that all the sort of past trauma and stuff had been kind of erased and written off. So when it was brought up, I thought, oh, that's good. And also, of course, as a fan of the storyline, and people saying, "Oh, well, RTD will trash it and get rid of it and everything." The fact that
he already said that he wouldn't.
Yeah, and and it was mentioned in the giggle as well. But it was used really nicely, I think, to parallel really nicely with Ruby and give them a connection. So yeah, I was pleased to see it on a number of levels.
Mm-hmm. You could say it's almost spurred on that storyline, the idea of an adoptee, a foundling, kind of mirroring the Doctor's own experience, and who knows where that's going to go. If it goes anywhere, it'd be great. If it doesn't, it doesn't.
Yes, yeah.
I mean, I'm guessing. Fandom I always look at as a very separate thing to the show. I know as a fan and being involved in a lot of the conversations that go online and stuff like that, it's sometimes difficult to think that anything we do actually doesn't have any bearing on the show at all. But that is the truth. There's very little, I think, that fandom does that the producers actually really care about. You know, that probably sounds weird
which is
and
right,
harsh, and
because
maybe you
it's...
disagree. But I
No,
think
no,
it's
I
the truth
don't.
because, you know, I mean, I'm pretty sure the producers are aware of the kind of whispers, but whether they take them seriously or not, you know, as fans, I always think we don't own the show. You know, we don't. We enjoy it or we don't enjoy it. You know, it's that binary, you know. And if you're a fan of it, and if you love it, if you want to take it apart, whatever floats your boat. But whatever conversations are raging on in fandom, chances are they don't even register on the little needle tracking everything in the production office.
You know, the showrunners and the creators on anything need to do what they think is right and do their story. And you know, also,
I'm reaching out
all
to
of this stuff has been, all of this stuff has been shot already. So Potomac goes out.
Exactly,
you know, as we know, they're well into series 2. So any you know, complaints that come back are sort of irrelevant, really.
Yeah,
but
they're doing next year's Christmas special, aren't they? Or the one after that, even.
Yeah, or the one after, yeah, which is mad. But I think that, you know, they should basically, you know, not listen because it's not our story, and I think fandom, you know, some people might think, oh yeah, this is what we should have, this is what should happen, but actually, let's be honest, it's probably not what should happen.
No, exactly. Yeah, quite right. Absolutely, 100% agree. So anyway, there are some moments in that, aren't there? So do we get when is the scene in the cab? I like that. So Ruby is being interviewed by Davina McCall, which is a lot of fun. I didn't know it was an actual TV program. And the irony is, I was only told that TV program existed the day before.
We were literally talking about it the day before with the grandparents.
When they said she was appearing in it, I thought, I wonder if they're going to use her as a sort of what's it called, Long Lost Family is the show, isn't it? You know, use her in a sort of riff on,
which I never heard of.
A role on that. It's quite a moving show actually sometimes, but I did think, you know, for any new audience watching, you know, particularly in America, they won't know who Davina McCall is and have no idea about the
that's
show.
like part of the story. It's just like adds an extra bit.
Yeah, I don't think it matters.
I think it was quite clear.
Someone else.
Yeah, it was quite clear, I think, what it was. I think it worked slightly more, for us if you knew the show. Anyway,
I had no idea that show was even a real thing. Right. And not going to lie, it doesn't affect the program at all because you get it within the script, right? She's been interviewed by somebody who is presenting a show that tracks the DNA of somebody to find long lost relatives and predecessors and all the rest of it. You get that from the show, and it doesn't matter even if you don't know who Davina McCall is, because she's the presenter. The fact we do know who Davina is brilliant, right? Adds an extra something to it. And if you do know the show, then I guess that probably adds something to it. But honestly, we were talking about it, weren't we? Yeah. I'd never heard of it until we started talking about it. Because I was thinking, it's like the other one. Who am I? What is it called?
Who do you think
Who do you think you are? Who do you think you are? I thought it was like that, or like a rip of that, but no, it's an actual show. And I'm like, that's amazing, So that was cool. And then there's the whole bad luck thing, isn't there? Because then you see the goblins move like the coffee cup to one side of the flight case, the camera case, or something. And then someone trips over and it all goes Pete Tong and the lights crash down and then we get that whole run of bad luck. But it's quite a while before we really see the Doctor. We got there's a lot going on with a lot of focus on Ruby before we see the Doctor. I think we see a flash of the TARDIS at some point, don't we? Which is kind of cool.
It's in the street when she comes home and drops the bag breaks on the stuff. So I read that
there's even a snowman bit, isn't it, where the snowman is falling off.
Yeah. So
off the
that
side.
Bit was that was only fairly recently filmed.
Apparently so. Yeah.
Because I saw the pictures of the snow body falling on Ncuti's stunt double. So that was, I believe, a Disney note that the Doctor needs to appear sooner in it.
And
now,
they're right.
They are right, because I'll be honest,
oh my God,
I was sitting there watching it thinking,
as Ruby is, you need the Doctor in the show.
Yeah. Being honest, it was going on a bit, and I thought, these characters are good, he does all of that really well. It's Doctor Who, And
it's
where the
not
hell is the
It's
Doctor?
not Hollyoaks, mate. It felt like
Yeah.
a bit like Hollyoaks.
Yeah,
was she
it did.
Was she on Hollyoaks? No, she was on Corrie, wasn't she?
Corrie, I think. And so, yeah, that was one sort of niggle I had, that it took quite a while to intro him, and then...
So thanks Disney for actually suggesting we bring the Doctor in a little bit sooner.
Which, yeah, they were right, and I'm...
brought Nikki in.
And it brought Nikki. Oh yeah, you spotted Nikki, didn't you? Yeah.
Who's Nikki?
It's from Holby.
Oh, okay.
The pram, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Pram,
Was that what it was?
Her
Okay,
character was called
was
Nikki on Holby.
right. That was quite
can't remember
funny.
what
She was
the
like,
actual
"It's my shopping," but yeah, I thought it got me thinking. I was like, it's quite brave, odd to have a new, essentially a new jumping on point, a new episode, and have the Doctor not turn up for 15 minutes or something. Then I thought back to the Christmas in... Well, I don't know. I mean, it was a long time. It really
like,
started to...
Like in Rose, it was a similar thing, wasn't it? We track Rose, but I think with
Yeah.
Rose, it's literally only a couple of minutes.
Bit because you see
It's
him
only a couple of minutes,
dancing at
yeah.
the club, and you see him saving her drink. That's before that bit.
So we get a few little flashes, don't
you
we?
did
But,
get that.
but if
yes.
you're watching it from the first, never seen Doctor Who before, you don't know who he is.
Yeah.
Perhaps, or you might do, I guess. But
Yes, you're right, Freya. You do get the club bit, which is quite fun. But it still was a long chunk of other stuff. I thought, and I thought about the Christmas invasion, where the Doctor spends 45 minutes in bed, and look back at it now, I think that is insane that they did that. And I was thinking about like the woman who fell to earth in the 11th hour, and they've got post-regen trauma and stuff, but they're up and about and going for it. So I quite like that Ncuti has not had any of that, and he he didn't really have any in the giggle either. So he's just he's obviously been around for a little bit now, So yes, it did feel a little bit too much kind of family stuff going on, and I didn't dislike it. I don't think I needed it all that kind of front loaded.
I think I agree with you there, mate. It's a lot of fun. But the other thing I want to say about that scene as well, with the snowmen falling, and Millie and her friends are all in the cab, aren't they, on their way home somewhere?
Is that you've got to see her in her band and stuff,
Yeah. But we get there's a moment there when the police. So the police guy comes up to shoot the Doctor, doesn't he? And he's like, we're going to have to report this. And the Doctor tells him was it she's going to say yes. Gives him a little glimpse of his future, which I thought was brilliant, because that's what the Eighth Doctor does. The Eighth Doctor does in the TV movie, and it's kind of unexplained. It's like we've never seen the Doctor do that before. Give somebody random clips ahead of their future, right? But the thing in the TV movie, right? So the Doctor does it. I don't know. He probably does it about 4 or 5 times. It's we've never seen him do it, but it's kind of fun. You sort of go with it, and we never see it again until now. But what we see it from this perspective is it's not the Doctor having some kind of knowledge of the future, especially. It's actually his powers of deduction and intuition. The fact he can read somebody, read the situation. And that's what we saw at the start of the 11th hour, is the Doctor essentially reading the room, right? When it kind of clips through to all that. And that's what was great about this, because it kind of took that moment from the 8th Doctor, which was unexplained, and explained it, but did it in a way that kind of reinforced what the Doctor is so good at, without resorting to magic, and in a very succinct way. So well done, Russell T Davies. We might make a writer of you yet, my friend. Very
it reminded
good.
me a little bit of Nine's speech when he says to Rose about I can feel the everything turning and moving and stuff, and I always kind of felt that the Doctor felt time and all the options and everything that's going on,
the
and
vibes
stuff
going through.
Yeah.
Which again is kind of always there. It's there in the classic series as well. That's always kind of been a thing, and perhaps has never been explained as well as in that moment in Rose with the 9th Doctor holding her hand. That was beautifully done, and this was a similar kind of moment, I thought.
It was good. So there was a bit more sort of family stuff, and
quite a lot more family stuff, but and a lot more accidents as well. A lot of
some
people being clumsy.
Stuff.
We get Davina McCall's. Well, actually, it looks like she gets bumped off, doesn't it?
Yeah, that did make me laugh. That was quite bleak.
That was quite amusing, actually.
Yeah. So we had established that Ruby was adopted and doesn't know her parents, and that her adopted mum is a foster as well as an adoptive. What would the word be? Adopting mother. Yeah. And the gran is the aunt or whatever is there as well, wanting her cup of tea. So all of that did go on for a while. But then the baby gets taken, and Ruby is in the tradition of most companions and quite brave and gutsy, and just sort of gets a handily placed ladder and climbs out through the skylight to go to the roof. Now I loved the bit where she's hanging on the rope ladder thing, and then the doctor turns up and he's like, "Oh, I just thought I'd jump after a goblin, babes." And I quite like the way he talks, and it was a really kind of exciting little sequence. He's leaping over the chimney things and stuff like that, and he introduces his Mission Impossible style gloves as well.
Yeah,
that took a long time.
I was trying to listen to Jeff as well. I was honestly, she's having a go at me because I was just checking something I meant to check a little while ago on Mark Tonderai, who directed this episode.
He's done stuff before.
He did. He directed The Ghost Monument, which is another one of our top, and Rosa as well. Yep, there you go. I knew it was. Yeah, it's good to see him coming back.
He's the first black director on Doctor Who.
There you go.
Was he?
Yeah. He looks
he did a really good job. Yeah.
There's something quite stylish about him.
Is there? I
forgot how young Ruby is, like Millie Gibson is, until I saw a TikTok earlier saying she was 19. I was like, she's not 19. I googled her. I was like, she's the same age as Lucy. She's 19. And I'm like, this girl's the same age as my sister. And I'm like, oh gosh, she's like 19.
Right, I didn't know that.
Yeah, how old do you think that makes us feel?
So I'm like, is Ruby younger or is Ruby also 19? I'm guessing
we are. We are not the audience.
Oh, I don't know. Yeah, it did. It was 2023.
It was 2023.
No, but when she got dropped off.
Oh, when she got dropped off.
Year,
good point. Actually,
did it say 93? So
did it say 93? So she'd be 20.
How much older are they?
I can't remember.
20.
I
forget what year we are in.
We're still in 2023.
I know.
Yeah, just for a few days.
I forget.
A few more days left.
Yeah. So what did you think of the sequence on the Goblin ship?
I thought it was
which
great
looked
fun.
Amazing.
Yeah, I love all that. That to me is like the Goonies. You know what I mean? The Goonies with the ridiculous looking pirate ship that we also had in Doctor Who in the Legend of the Sea Devils. It's that fantasy. Let's just make a ridiculous looking thing, and it's got wings. It's like something that Terry Gilliam would have thought of. Baron Munchausen or Brazil or Time Bandits. It's anything which kind of plays on that sort of look, the Jabberwocky kind of feel, a little bit of steampunk maybe, and total out and out ridiculous camp nonsense. I love it. Love it with bucketfuls of hundreds and thousands. So it was great fun. And of course, we knew the song, right? Because we've all been listening to the song.
Goblin King.
Yeah, can't get it out of your head. Honestly,
can't get you out of my head.
Different song, but that's fine. Anyway, I didn't know actually they were going to play the entire Goblin song within it, because sometimes when they do these things, you get an excerpt, you get a little bit of it in the film, but then the whole thing will be released on the soundtrack. You get the full edit, the full mix or something, But no, it was the whole thing and more besides, because what I hadn't expected was to see the Doctor and Ruby kind of improvising in tune as well in front of the Goblin King. Which is great fun.
I really liked the ship. It looked great, and I liked the Doctor sort of reading, rope and stuff like that, and this sort of new language. And there's a strong sort of, kind of fantasy feel with this, and I wonder whether it will kind of carry on in the new series. And I love the Goblins and the song and everything. The Goblin King looked brilliant. It's good fun. When the Doctor and Ruby started singing, my wife went, this is expletive up. she said.
She swore. Jeff's wife swore.
She did swear.
She's not a fan
she wasn't.
of them.
Well, I mean, she's not a huge Who fan anyway, but she really liked Ncuti. But she thought that when they started singing, it was a step too far.
No, more! Give me more of that.
Yeah,
I love it.
They shouldn't overdo it, but it was fun having it.
But nonetheless,
because they were singing in the last one as well.
Oh, they were. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, there was singing.
Spice Girls.
Yeah.
Yes,
Spice Up Your Love.
That's a bit different, I think, to
Honestly, everyone's been
the Doctor breaking out in
your singing is amazing.
song. I know. But yeah, it was fun. I enjoyed it, and just think don't overuse it before it becomes boring. Because it's not kind of.
Yeah, we don't want it to be commonplace.
Yeah, if it was a musically led thing anyway, it'd be a different matter. So yeah, they have a bit of a.
You love musicals. She does love musicals.
Yeah, no, I like a musical as well, but
it's
not it's not what Who is, traditionally.
But it could be.
I know they're not turning Riverdale, and that's awful.
Oh, yeah,
they could do it Buffy style. Didn't Star Trek do a musical recently?
They did recently, yeah.
Bound to be episodes. Riverdale turned into a musical, and it was just weird.
Oh yeah, an episode is fine. I think you can kind of get away with that depending on what your show is.
I kind of get the feeling that series 1 is gonna throw the boat out there. I think it is. I think Russell is it's really gonna push it.
Yeah,
I'm really looking forward to that. Like I've said on here loads of times, I'm shaking with excitement. It's like that. But like I said on here loads of times, I love it when Doctor Who does something different, something that is unexpected.
It needs
that I've never seen before.
Yeah, and I think it has already done this with the sort of more fantasy element and the singing and stuff. So that was cool. And then after that, it was a bit more family stuff. But I really started to like it when
the cup of tea was quite good. I like cherry.
That was
how Ncuti and Ruby's grandma bonded
straight away, didn't they?
Yeah. I mean, was she? What was her name? Was she Cherry?
Cherry.
Cherry.
And that was quite. That was.
It wasn't like expensive dessert or something. Yeah.
So that was.
There's a little bit of flirtiness going on with him. I felt as well, which is kind of fun.
Yeah, well, his Doctor sort of seems to have that all anyway.
He seems like a big flirt. Yeah.
Which is quite sort of him in real life, I think, as well. But I really liked it all when Ruby suddenly vanished and the big crack started to appear and the whole tone of everything, visually changed and, it sort of took a gear change and the Doctor was sort of... trying to work out what had happened, basically, and where she'd gone. I quite enjoyed that part.
Yeah, because before that, it was quite predictable. So I was like, oh, this will happen, then this will happen, this will happen.
You're right, Freya.
I was like, whoa, and then I was like, wait, now this will happen.
Yeah, I was sort of thinking, well, this is fun, but nothing's kind of super blowing my socks off. I'm really enjoying it, but it's sort of safe Christmas Day type of thing.
A bit of a left turn, didn't it, at that point?
Then it did, and that was good. I liked the Doctor going back to the church, and he had he caught the rope ladder, didn't he? And I first thought he was trying to climb up.
Yeah,
it wasn't working.
Right.
And then I realised he was pulling it down. Of course, he said some nonsense about
anti-friction gloves. Or
they make me heavier or something. And
basically, put all your mass into the glove, doesn't it? I think
that's it. Yeah. So. And he jumped off and skewered the Goblin King on the spire, which was pretty horrible.
It was pretty horrible, and I think if there's one part of this which I'm not a massive fan of, it's probably that in a way. And the only reason being that it's just and the whole thing just disappears, right? The whole Goblin ship just goes, it just vanishes, and so there's not even the inconvenience of having a massive weirdo ship landed on your church roof spire thing. It's just conveniently gone. It's kind of a very convenient ending. But here's the thing. The fact is the whole idea of convenience and coincidence and stuff like that is written into the script. So it's Russell kind of waving a big magic wand at the end to make everything go away. But he sets it up within the script. That's entirely possible because that is the logic that the Goblins follow. So it makes sense that they should disappear in that way. So whilst on the one hand, I absolutely hate it because as a viewer, it's like, oh, because we didn't even didn't even meet the Goblin King. He was just a random Jabba the Hutt style bad guy on the ship, right? And the goblins themselves, we didn't really get into them, if you know what I mean. They're just a kind of a fun thing, something to hang your Christmas story threat onto. But
it was never made clear whether they were
but then it's like
aliens or an actual
but then I kind of think, well, on the one hand, do we need all that stuff? Because that's not really what the story is. The story is really Ruby Road's story, in a way. It's just the Goblin thing is just a way for us to get to know them and for to provide a situation that puts her in touch with the Doctor so they can carry on having adventures together. So it kind of depends what you want from your Doctor Who story. I think that the more critical side of my nature is a little bit disappointed by that, but the side of me that sits at the back of the room and just eats popcorn and drinks fizzy pop and just watches shows just for the hell of it is just literally throwing popcorn at the critical self, telling him to go out and get a life, basically. So why not? And right now it's the guy sitting on the back row that's winning, so it's a lot of fun.
It's like I said before, you can look at anything and say, oh, okay, well that doesn't quite work, or look at something.
We were talking about Titanic before we started.
Paul doesn't like Titanic. If you want to abusively tweet him about it,
but you love it.
Yeah, I do love it.
If you want to fornicate with Jeff, go for that. Oh no, that's the wrong word. I didn't mean that word.
Tweeter-cate with me.
Tweeter-cate with Jeff.
But you can also look at stuff and desperately find things to criticise and be wrong about things.
Or you can easily find things to criticise and be right.
Yeah, that's it. And, I just sort of... Whilst I would have probably liked a bit more about the Goblins, it didn't really matter, like you said.
No, that's the thing. It doesn't really matter in the context of this story.
No, it doesn't. And my critical mind, as probably anyone listening will know, is perhaps not as developed as yours.
It's very binary, isn't it, your critical mind? Do I like it? Yes, no.
Well, it really is. Do I like it or do I not?
Do I enjoy it? Yes, no. That's it.
I didn't watch the episode and
feel
like
no.
It really is, that simple, and I didn't feel the need to spend 3 hours after the episode analysing it to decide whether I liked it or not. If you can critically analyse like that, that's a win for you. But
some people, to be fair though, Jeff, without you going down that road, some people enjoy it. I kind of enjoy doing it as well to a degree. I mean, I did do it as a degree. It was part of what I did, and I enjoy it, and I still do. I like critically getting into things. I do. I really do. But on the other hand, like I said, there's two parts of me. There's the guy who will sit at the front and do that and studiously take notes and compare them to other things and find themes and narrative arcs and various other things and character development, blah 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 blah.
Yeah, I do all that as well.
And that's fine. But there's still the guy at the back who's throwing popcorn at the back of my head, and that's the other version of me who's just sitting there with his feet up, saying "Yay!" Cheering on the bad guys or something. So and there is that thing. I think if a story, for me anyway, is really going to work, then it has to entertain the guy at the back, because otherwise the guy at the front is going to have the first say on it and will be the one to take it apart. But if the guy at the back has the loudest cheer, then that's all that matters, no matter how much the guy at the front, how many notes he takes. I just literally thought of that as well.
Wow.
Do you know, dividing my personality into different areas like that helps me deal with a lot of things, I've decided. It's true.
Yeah, well, it works. I mean, don't paint me as a total simpleton. I can't.
But I love painting you, Jeff, especially in pink. All over, top to body, head to foot.
Painting me like one of your French girls.
To cover your ears. We have a minor in the room here.
I'm 16.
Oh, she's 16. She's still a minor.
Oh, of course, you haven't seen Titanic, have you? So that's just gone.
I don't know what he's on about either.
You don't know either. Oh God!
I have to tell you, my experience with Titanic is at best fragmentary.
Let's move on.
Okay, let's move on. So hold on, just before we do move on.
Yeah,
so
I do like theme and character arc and stuff like that. But what I mean is, I don't sit there afterwards and go, well, did I like?
No.
Think
but some
about
people
things,
do,
but
and let them do it.
And that's fine. That's but just because I don't doesn't mean I don't engage properly with stuff, or
No, I got accused of that online a few years back. Actually, someone said to me, "You must be the most uncritical idiot in the thing.
Oh, yeah,
I know your
sort of
critical
thing. Yeah.
faculties are just not developed, or something like that. They said some nonsense like that because I just said I enjoyed a thing, and I refuse to say why, other than the fact that I enjoyed it.
Yeah,
And I said, do you know what? I don't care. I've got my degree. I've written stuff on stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I don't give a shit what you think.
I don't
frankly.
think you need to. Don't think you
Wait,
need
I've
to
got
prove
dialects,
that. You know, you've done 6,000 words on why you did or didn't like something to. You know, I shouldn't have to justify.
No, you don't.
know,
Nobody has to justify why they enjoy anything, you know. And sometimes it
or
is
why
that
you didn't
binary.
like it. If you didn't like something, that's great. I don't really need to know in detail. You know, but anyway.
Anyway, can I just say, hold on 1 second though,
Yes.
before we move on to that, because Freya, you said to me when we were watching it, and you said a minute ago that you found it, you kind of predicted what was going to happen next.
Yeah.
Is that it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So, would you say that you found it predictable,
Yes.
or was that a good thing or a bad thing? Moving on. So anyway,
It was just like, I know
What you mean?
happen.
You knew that he was going to take baby to the church and stuff
Yeah.
like that.
Like, as soon as the
I
cracking
kind of-
wall happened and she wasn't there, I was like, right, they've stolen the baby. He's going to go find her. He's going to go rescue her. Then he's going to take her back.
Yeah, I kind of thought that.
so what you're saying is the story wasn't actually massively complex, but that's not a bad thing, is it?
Yeah, no, it's
surely?
fine. I
Right.
mean, it's you know, it's some people really like that, and it's also it's Christmas Day. I think, you know, I've said before a number of times, I still
It
can't
just needs to
believe
be
that
fun.
last Christmas went out on Christmas Day. It's an outstanding episode, but it's so
Yeah.
dark and layered that, you know, that on Christmas Day was like, what?
What?
So this is this is prime,
This
you know,
is a lot
Crimbo
more fun.
day, you know. And then, it all ended, you know, quite sort of exciting. You know, Ruby joins, and you know, they're going to go on adventures. So, a couple of quick questions. What did you think of Ncuti overall?
Oh, I thought he was fantastic.
Yeah, really enjoyed
Yeah.
him. Liked him a lot.
I-
He's got quite a range to him. There's a you know, spark and a sort of flirt there, and you know, he's
There's a
quite
real
adventurous.
energy to him, I think, which we
Yeah.
saw at the end of the giggle. You know, I think that last 10 minutes of the giggle, I just wanted to see more Ncuti Gatwa as the Doctor. I thought, oh yeah.
Also didn't realise, sorry,
Ooh.
I don't know why I'm obsessed with people's ages. He's 31.
Is he?
He's
Like,
only
look at
31.
him. He doesn't look 31.
That's true. He looks a lot younger
He
than
looks
that.
like
Yeah,
20.
you wouldn't believe Paul and I were 28, would you?
Exactly.
Yeah, honestly.
I mean, I
it's
don't know, but
astounding.
I don't know how
How
old that
old were
makes
you
you,
when you had
Freya,
me
but
then?
-4, I think, something like that.
what did you think of Millie and Ruby?
What do you reckon? You go first. You liked her actually, didn't you? I
Big
did.
thumbs up.
Yeah, I'd give her a thumbs up as well, because I think I've never watched any episode of Coronation Street in my life, so I've got no idea outside of the interviews and the rare sort of appearances she put on, like was it Children in Need or
Yeah.
something
Yeah.
like that she
I watched
appeared
it.
briefly on. I've no idea how good she was going to be, or what her character was going to be like, whether I'd find her really annoying or, you know, distressingly youthful and energetic, and you know what I mean,
That was
so
it.
whether I'd warm to her or not, because I never really, I mean, I did warm to Rose, but I went off her very quickly, you know, because she was
Right.
just really quite annoying after like a few episodes. But I thought, yeah, Ruby was actually quite a lot of fun, you know. So I thought she was.
I'd seen
She was
her.
kind of iconic in a way, you know, the two of them together. You'd seen
Yeah,
it.
they were nice. I'd seen her in Jamie Johnson, but that was
you
like
said.
6 years ago. So that was when she was 13.
That's ridiculous.
So it's like it's not going to be the same. And I was just like, and I didn't really watch it. I just watched a few episodes and I recognised. I was like, oh, what do I know her from? And it's just this program on CBBC,
Yeah.
and it was just
I
like,
thought she was good. You know, her and Ncuti obviously get on really well, which is such a massive importance, I think, for the
Yeah.
for the
You
know,
can
the
tell they like-
companion as-
yeah, you can tell
Yeah.
they get on. There's a chemistry there, definitely.
I
You,
mean,
like,
the
you said you
character.
liked her rings, didn't you?
yeah,
Yes, I noticed those, and Ncuti's got some symbols on his nails.
There was
as
a
well.
lingering shot when he came up the stairs and he put his hand on the banister, wasn't it? And it sort of
Yeah.
lingered just on his fingers for a moment.
They're really
I don't know,
prominent in
but-
one of the promo pictures that's going
Mm.
around. Yeah, I thought Ruby was good so far. You know, she's not taken Clara or Yaz from me, but you know, she was cool.
No one's ever
you
going
know.
to take Clara and
Well,
Yaz
it's
from me, I don't
unlikely,
think,
but
Jeff.
yeah, I liked her. She was, you know, she was good. I mean, none of them are really, you know, like, you know, I liked Rose. You know, none of them are sort of super, except Rory, he's a bit wet fish. None of them are super annoying to me. So yeah, she was cool. What did you think of Mrs. Blood?
The
Anita
neighbour.
Dobson.
Right. Okay.
She's clearly a Deadpool variant. She broke the fourth wall.
This is Anita Dobson's character, right?
EastEnders.
Yeah, Angie from EastEnders. Back from when. So when she first appeared through it, I thought, well, okay, it's just a little cameo, almost not quite a cameo, a bit more than a cameo. She's got a few speaking lines, but she's in that vein of sort of Russell T Davies's, celebrity. Give him a little turn on the show, sort of thing, for a bit of a laugh. Yeah. I thought that was kind of where she was at. So that whole thing at the end was quite surprising. On the one hand, it's a mid-credit sequence because Disney seem to love those. Yeah. Credits start, then they fade, then something comes in. But yeah, she's talking straight at us, straight at the camera, right? And not only that, which I can take, right? Because there's another neighbour there as well, isn't there? Someone who's marvelling at the whole thing that's disappeared. The fact she's disappeared from the street. But so she could just be talking to him, and we the camera have just taken a place of his standpoint. Yeah. But what I really, really disliked, right, is the bloody music which led up to that.
Oh, he was
I was kind of thinking, right, well, I'm not the biggest Murray Gold fan, right? But it was all right. The music throughout the whole thing was great, and I love the Goblin song and all that. But then that mid-credit sequence coming, if you listen to it, it's like bum 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 bum. It goes on and it builds this bum 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 bum, so that you can actually barely hear her say, "What, you never seen a TARDIS before?" Like bum 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 bum. It's like telling us how to feel, right? We need to feel tense and excited that something's going to happen that's going to rock your world or something. But you know what? We're not trusted to make that on our own. We have to have the music tell us. That's what we got to feel. Oh my God, it was bloody awful. But apart from that, it's great.
Yeah,
just calm it down, Murray.
Yeah,
please. I know we just said that you don't listen to fans and the production office don't care, but please just a little bit. Just turn it down. Let's use our indoor voices for once.
Thank you.
Crikey! Oh my God! Bum 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 bum. What? You never seen a TARDIS before?
There was a few bits where I felt the music was too loud in the mix.
I had to get it out.
I was slightly struggling to hear people. The music was too loud in the mix.
I couldn't hear it.
Yeah,
let's keep turning it up.
I turn it up to a lot louder than we normally have it. And I mean, we've been having it on loud because the grandparents are here.
And we have to turn it up even louder.
I can't hear it. I mean, I can't hear much anyway, but.
Grandparents with their hearing aids not switched on is the worst thing.
Granny wears her hearing aids.
She does, but
doesn't put them in.
Doesn't put them in. So we've got to turn it right up, but we had to turn up even more.
Even more, yeah. Yeah, I was not
what do you think?
I wasn't too taken with the sort of looking straight into the camera thing.
I say it's a kind of a big cheat in a way. It's like it's a thing you don't do unless it's part of the way the whole thing is from the beginning, right? So it's more like a stage production, or it's a very meta kind of story.
That's why I said she's a Deadpool variant or She-Hulk variant.
Yeah, but that was it, isn't it? Yeah, because this is the only time that happened in the whole thing. Yeah. In She-Hulk, she's like that from literally 30 seconds in. Yeah, and we know that's the kind of show that it is. So whenever she talks out to us, through the fourth wall, it's fine. That's just part of the show. But this is like, we'd never seen that until that last moment in the credits. But, I've kind of forgiven it because I think, well, the camera's just taken the place of Marty. No, it's just the music. It's honestly just the music.
The music's good, but it was too loud.
No, it was awful. It's not even good. It was bloody awful.
Bum,
bum, bum, bum, bum, bum.
He said just before it started, he was like, "Oh, do you think we might get a new credit sequence and finally it will get replaced?" He goes, "Oh."
Yeah, I was a bit disappointed we didn't get a new credit sequence.
What, new titles? You mean?
Yeah, new titles or do something. We might have really series one, perhaps, but
yeah, maybe, yeah. Yeah, we'll see.
I'm just not a fan of this one, but it doesn't spoil my enjoyment of the show.
No, I mean, I thought the straight to camera thing was a bit weird, but
otherwise, it was all right, wasn't it?
It's fine, yeah.
So, who do you think she is then? Is she like a pre-Hartnell Rani or a pre-Rani Hartnell, or is she Susan?
But this is what if? She's like a Time Lord.
The monk
to somebody else.
I think she's someone new. Someone new.
Well, she said the future.
Do you know? But it's going back to what we were saying earlier about people speculating that it was the Doctor, the 13th Doctor, who was taking baby Ruby to the church, and I've seen online since this episode went down that she is all those, right? She's the Rani, she's Susan, she's the Doctor's mum or someone from another universe or whatever, and that's great fun because that's what we fans do all the time. But just. What if actually she's none of those?
To be fair, the TARDIS isn't very inconspicuous because someone's like, "Oh, there's a police box there,"
yeah,
and then suddenly it's gone and makes a really loud noise. I'm like, well, there's going to be people who are wondering. There's going to be like conspiracy theory websites like online,
well, indeed,
being like, "What's this massive blue box that
like
keeps turning up in the middle of the road?"
You say that, Freya. I've often thought the Doctor plonks it in the middle of the street, like at the end of series 4 when he takes Donna back and he's talking to Wilf and he's parked it in the middle of a street, and there's probably some sort of perception filter on it or something, but
we just don't see it,
and we don't see it. And also narratively, it wouldn't really work to be like, right, we've just got to park in this alleyway and then we've got to walk 10 minutes around the corner to get to the house or, or whatever. Yeah. So I get it, but
weird stuff going on.
Yeah. So I again, it's probably just not visible to everyone. So, whatever.
I always think it's fine. I love the I actually just love that weirdness. The fact that you would just put the TARDIS could appear in the middle of a shopping mall and nobody would bat an eyelid because why would you?
Yeah.
Weird things happen, like even like here when you're just like outside and it's like, okay, we're just gonna go with it.
Yeah, just go with it. I mean, we had this giant Santa on a illuminated sleigh with loud music by Wham just the other day. So you just go with it, don't you?
Yeah, I think
that happens every year.
Explainable. It's fine. So what I had one big problem. I don't know what I call it.
Dun dun dun.
All right, Murray. So
what's your problem? Go on, Jeff. Share with the world, my friend.
Doctor 2.0. So the whole time, not the whole time, I was thinking, David Tennant's just down the road in Chiswick. Why doesn't he come and help out?
He can sort it out.
He can't be that busy, having tea with Donna. And I found, I was thinking, shoot, he's really good. I'm really enjoying him. But there's something like he's not fully the Doctor because the other Doctor is just down the road from wherever they are, Portobello or something. Yeah, you didn't think that? But I was going to say it's quite possibly just me, but it does. I don't particularly like it that there's.
No, that's fine. I get it.
I kind of forgot that happened.
Now that you mentioned it, it's saddened me for the rest of my life. I think that now I'm going to be thinking about that. But,
ruined his life.
Yeah, he ruined my experience. Yeah. But no, I didn't think of that at all, mate. To be honest, I just
that's fair
forgot about it because I'd rather forget about it. To be honest, I
think that's it.
I don't like. As we said
I don't
before,
like
that
it. I'm afraid.
End of the gig was not. The fact that the Tenant Doctor or Doctor 14 lives his life as some kind of, I don't know, was it like he's in some sort of sitcom or something, or some kind of Sunday night lo-fi detective, suburban detective drama. That's kind of what he's ended up as. But I think I know I said it in the last podcast, but I do think the Doctors continue after post regeneration. I've thought that ever since I watched the 5 Doctors.
Really?
Because you look at the 5 Doctors, right? As I said before, they have Richard Hurndall, the First Doctor, right? First Doctor 2.0, in a garden, which is never explicitly post-regeneration, but I always thought it was. But what's quite explicit is the fact that the Second Doctor remembers that Zoe and Jamie, when he encounters them in the Dark Tower of Rassilon, and they scream, he remembers that they lost their memory. And he would only know that had he survived the War Games. And the thing is, it's only in recent years that the idea of the Second Doctor continuing post-War Games as an agent for the Time Lords has been a thing, right? Back in 1983, when the 5 Doctors was out, I just thought, well, that means that the Doctor continues beyond each regeneration. So I was, whether it's in another dimension, blah blah thing, plane of reality, whatever, it's fine. So I can kind of reconcile what happened to 14 by placing him within that bubble if you know what I mean.
Bubble.
Right? That bubble. So that kind of works. So yeah, it doesn't bother me perhaps to the same degree that it does you. So, and I like the irony, the fact that he's ended up in a sort of summary. It's kind of like the Darling Buds of May or Rosemary in Time, or kind of Bergerac type thing.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, I mean, it's fine. I mean, the people who are fans, he's got the happy ending, which is fine. I just there's something about it that I just don't.
Let it go,
like
Jeff.
it, really.
Let it go.
Yeah, but it didn't. It didn't spoil my overall enjoyment of things, and it was only like, one point I was like, oh yeah, he's still out there.
Yeah. It's almost like Ncuti could kind of call his dad. He could stop it all.
Well, but he was more than capable of doing it all. So what is even the point of it all? So anyway. Once it all kicks off in May, forgotten.
May.
My birthday.
It's your birthday. You're going to be 17 then. My goodness.
So I guess it'll run May through June. It will run. So
I suppose,
that'll be good.
I suppose you're right. Yeah.
Quite a lot.
So we got a little trailer, didn't we? We saw a few little snippets, so we know Rose Noble is coming back.
Yeah.
We saw her in there. It swings around, and obviously Mel on the scooter. We knew. So, looking forward to it. Are you looking forward to it, Jeff?
I am. Yeah, looks good.
Are you looking forward to it, Freya?
I am looking forward.
She's looking forward to it, and we're all looking forward to it. It's going to be good, isn't it?
And they'll show more nearer the time as well.
Yeah, but they don't have to. Let it be a surprise. It's fine.
Well, I don't think we need 600 trailers for it. I think a couple of weeks before that'll be good.
I'll tell you, come January the 1st, come New Year's Day, we're going to get a whole bunch of people online saying, "Where's the next trailer? Yeah. Surely we're going to get one for New Year's Day. Come on,
it's on soon." So I'm just going to read a couple of tweets that we had.
Oh yes. Do that. That's a good idea.
So Jimble Bells Allenby, who's at Fractured with a K boy, says, "I bloody love this. Ncuti is instantly the Doctor, combining the right balance of fun and serious. Millie is wonderful as Ruby, and I'm already along for her ride. This was a gorgeous, fun, entertaining present. May seems so far away. He'll be here before we know it."
5 months.
LSJ, who's at Grumpy2EB, he says, "I didn't connect with it. It felt a little cringy at times, and I didn't end up liking Ruby. It's early days, though, and I'm hoping I'll come round with future adventures. I'm sure you will." Nick H, who is happy to be a tofu eating wokenista. I don't know what that means, Nick. You better explain that. He's at Heisenberg Pod. RTD knows how to write family stuff like no other showrunner.
Yeah.
All the new family are fully formed. Ncuti is also totally at home as the Doctor, funny, clever, and knows what's going on. Great start.
The Doctor's always been flirty, though.
That's true, actually. The Doctor
there is an element. Yes, you're right. Theta Sigma, who's at Doctor Who fan again, says, "What a brilliant episode. Great story, superbly performed all around, and huge promise for the coming series, with the wonderful Anita Dobson looking like she's going to be returning. Couldn't ask for more."
Indeed.
And then Aidan, who's at AidenCG01, says, "It was an excellent episode. Ncuti and Millie were brilliant, and I can tell they're going to be a wonderful pairing. I love the Goblin song. Loved it when the Ruby and Doctor joined in. And bring on May, because like you, Freya, it's his birthday, so he's hoping one of the episodes airs on his birthday."
My birthday's Saturday.
Your birthday is Saturday. It will be on your birthday.
Yeah, it could well be then, yeah, if it starts at the beginning of the month. Marco, who's at Osu Marco, says, "Ncuti's Doctor is amazing. I want more. Ruby is going to be an amazing companion, and she overcame my scepticism that she'd just be Rose 2.0. Could have done without the Goblin song, though." And then in our little chat group, Tony Filer says, "High energy, confident doctoring. Gibson working hard to be enjoyably real despite a story hook similar to Clara and Amy's." Her theme was very Clara, actually. I did notice, her music theme, I mean. Storytelling relatively light, but arc elements heavily studied throughout. Singing was cringe for me, but I guess a lot of people loved it.
It was cringe, but like a good cringe.
It was, I go with that. Good cringe.
Excellent end hook from Anita Dobson. Overall, strong performances, lifting a fairly fluffy Christmas script.
Yeah.
And James H. says about 25 minutes of plot, but such high energy, enthusiasm. It was perfect for Christmas.
Yeah,
the
absolutely.
arc was back to
really
traditional.
Thin plot, but...
Yeah. The arc was back to traditional levels of RTD subtlety. Didn't like the Sonic,
in that it
loved
wasn't
the gloves.
subtle at all, right? So...
Yeah, maybe that's what he means.
But then what arc? I mean, we haven't actually got an arc yet. We don't.
No, not really.
Know what's going to play out. I mean, presumably the whole adoption, who left Ruby on the church, perhaps. And then, obviously, that cryptic thing from Anita Dobson at the end, which was hammered right in at the very last minute, as far as the run time of the show goes. So there's no layering of that at all. So that's not technically an arc yet. So we don't really know what the arc, if there is going to be one, is going to be, right? And also, perhaps it's more about whoever picked up the ring or the tooth at the end of the giggle, the toy maker's tooth. Maybe. So
maybe they're all the same person.
Maybe they're all the same. Maybe they're all connected,
maybe.
or maybe they're not. And actually, the arc is something completely different. So I kind of get where they're coming from, but maybe, who knows? We won't know what's an arc until we see the next. I'm being really pedantic. I should shut up. I'm sorry.
Yeah. So I'm going to read another tweet that came in. This is live tweeting. This came in a couple of minutes ago from Brandy Alain, who's at Mr_Alain. I know you posted the review already. Well, we haven't done it yet, Randy, because we're recording it right now. And I haven't listened to it yet, which is good because you can't, because we're still recording it. But I just wanted to say, unless you're like in the future or something, I just wanted to say this episode was a lot of fun and set up some great avenues for exploration. I love the science of coincidence and rope technology.
Yeah,
I did like that. The rope
definitely. Both of that, yeah.
Some great doc-splaining from Ncuti. I like that doc-splaining. That's pretty good.
That's pretty good, yeah.
That's
and actually,
good,
the rope thing, they're learning to understand the rope, the resonance.
And it was the fact that Sonic clearly doesn't work on everything, and he explained, he's like, it's a sonic screwdriver, it needs screws. This is rope.
Yeah. And then he's learned to understand the rope and sort of teaches the Sonic the rope as well.
The baby is going to get eaten. I'm learning rope.
And I honestly, the whole baby eating thing, I thought it was such fun. You know, it's and Lulabelle. It's just.
But babies do have weird names.
Yeah, we do give our babies weird names, don't we, Freya?
Yeah, Freya's very old
also
name.
say Freya.
Not like it's really common.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's a good tweet, that last one you read there, Jeff. Yeah. It's things are being set up that we don't know if or how they're going to play out. I think
and when he goes to the police and he's like, name the doctor, occupation, not a doctor,
Yeah,
and he does all that stuff, and it's just like, what? And I felt that was very doctory.
Very much.
Yes,
so, yeah.
I liked that. It was a bit like Waters of Mars when they say, what's your name, rank, and job? And he says, Doctor, fun.
Yeah.
And then he's using the sonic paper, like kind of like in a fun way. Psychic paper. Mm-hmm. And then like when he caught Gus, he's like health and safety gin and tonic edition.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. I did enjoy the coincidence stuff. I enjoyed the rope stuff. And I think, actually the way that was kind of pulled in, woven into the story, was just seamless. It was just effortlessly done in the fewest words possible, and it just gave us all we need to know, and we understood it. I think that stuff like that, when Russell does things like that, that is a sign of genius. There's no two ways about it. That's good writing there, right there, mate. That's good stuff. The soap opera type characters, I'm less fond of, but they're there, they're impressionistically written, they're sketched in, and they're played brilliantly by the actors, and we understand who they are perhaps and where they're coming from and what they're about very, very quickly. So whether we see them again or not, I don't know, but they're part of the fun. I mean, I guess we had a lot going on in the flat, didn't we? There was a lot of time in the flat. It was like one set, that big flat, but it was all right. It was it was good, and I enjoyed it overall. Actually, I think that's what I'm getting at. There were a few things that the guy in the front could niggle at, but like I said, the guy in the back is just throwing popcorn at the back of his head, and the guy in the back wins out. He enjoyed it, and that's fine.
Same. I liked it a lot. It was really good. Plenty of good stuff in it. So yes, excited for May.
Excited.
And,
yes.
Lots more.
Lots
more.
Be
Good.
It's gonna be good. It's gonna be great.
We shall sign off for now.
Okay, we're signing
thanks
off
for
now.
listening. Yeah, okay. Unless did you have anything else you wanted to say?
No.
Oh, wait.
Yes,
Freya found a thing. I tried to tell her this isn't
yesterday,
a thing, but she
no,
said
it
it's a
is.
thing.
Yes, well, yesterday, no, the day before, we were watching Pointless, and Aled Jones was on, and I was like, oh my god, Jeff looks like Aled Jones.
Well,
you look really similar.
I'm going to
weird.
Google him now.
And I showed my grandparents.
He's weird.
They were like, yeah, it's
Thank you.
similar.
Aled Jones. Let's see. Do I get
You see
him?
walking in the
She
air
showed
for
me
us.
because I said there is no way. Jeff
look
isn't.
really
Jeff does
similar.
not anything like
Yes,
like
he does.
Aled Jones. And then she showed me a picture. Went, oh my gosh.
That's Aled Jones.
Yeah, I know.
That's Jeff.
Yeah,
They look the same.
We're going to have to put these pictures up alongside this episode, mate. You're going to have to blend them in here somehow.
Yeah.
You won't see the resemblance, but you do you see
Thanks
the
for that,
resemblance?
They
I
look
didn't think there
similar.
was
If
any
you just
resemblance.
like straightened your hair more.
In my head,
Amazing.
Aled Jones is still only 13 years old.
Yeah. Singing like that.
He doesn't sound like Aled.
Sorry,
does
I'm
he?
quite insulted by that. Don't come on this
You
podcast.
look really similar.
On that note, perhaps we
On
should
that
leave
note,
it there. Dear
I'm off to
listeners.
cry.
Oh, my goodness. Hope you enjoyed our show.
I'm not really
this
offended.
podcast.
I
And,
bet everyone listening at this point is Googling
yeah.
Aled Jones and me now. Little spike in
Spike
the...
Aled Jones's popularity. Yeah.
Right, excuse me. Thank you, everyone. Thanks for listening and for tweeting and everything like that. And,
All of that stuff.
We'll catch you next time on Who Corner to Corner?
Toodles.
TTFN.